There we go. Apologize for that. I just needed to get the bit rate adjusted a little bit so you guys get a little smoother stream there. Okay, so let me make sure that they know it's refreshed. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. Hey, I understand Compton, but this is the one we're going to go over tonight. So moving on. Again, what I was talking about is that we got nothing but high ground through this entire map, and this is a high ground centric map. Everywhere you look, every point, there's more and more high ground to control all over this map. So, I mean, even up here, like from every point, there's always multiple high grounds. So let's see how well the teams utilize that going through these matches, and talk about where that could have been better utilized in a lot of ways.
2, 1. Attackers incoming.
All right. Biggest mistake, again, coming out before your tanks. Let's actually just talk about that exit door in general. Just right up out of the bat. Honestly, people might have mixed opinions about this, but honestly, I feel like this is going out this main door is just never really the best option. Honestly, coming out this top door here and playing your line of sights, coming out, this area is the best way to go. And the reason for that is, like, if the other team is playing any kind of spam damage, Hanzo, Junkrat, or a Widowmaker, even though it's not spam damage, but it's just a really like high value character pick on this map. And red team, is playing a Widow, but the blue team is not, but they do have an Ashe. So here's the deal. It's never good to come out here because, like, you're just playing line of sight as soon as you come out the door, right? Like, if there's a Widow or an Ashe or something up here on this globe or whatever, they've got some free high angle picks that they can start popping off here. However, if you come off this door here, you drop down, you play the wall here, and then you just move around the area here, you've got all that free space you just took with natural cover, no real shield usage of any kind, right? And now you have the option to pick, if they're playing spam or not, you have the option to pick whether you want to go the hallway or you want to rotate around or you just want to play under them. Honestly, the way they're playing right here, frankly, I would have, got all the way up to here, saw what they're playing, and I would have just shielded my way over here to this side wall and just started rolling the cart straight down here. Because there's not a lot they can do at that angle, right? The tanks can just rotate their shields, right, against this wall, protect, the damage that's incoming, and just basically pull the cart all the way back here. And honestly, if you can do that fast enough, right, what you can actually do is turn this into a scenario where they're fighting you from this side while you're just pushing the cart back. Eventually, that's what you do? Good. I hope so. Let's see how it plays out. All right. Dave's using a little more shield there than he needs to be. He's not using his natural cover the way he could be there. Good. Dave is playing, good there. He's getting up against the wall. Compton's a little out of place there. Getting beat up a little bit. But that's okay. Yeah, exactly. These guys are coming and playing, making these guys fight them this way, which is actually a really good way to be. Everybody should be collapsing on Rambo. Alright, Jonesy's going down. You guys are getting pinched at this point, though. Not good. It's a little uncoordinated here, but it looks like you guys are starting to get back in place. There we go. Alright, Dave went to a monkey here. That's a nice switch. And a monkey gets a pick. I like it. Alright, well played by Red. They kept the pressure up. I like the monkey swap, honestly, just because it's this map. You guys went to kind of the double bubble. Alright, now I feel like King got killed right there because he got a little overzealous. He went in just a little bit too early, and he didn't have like the protection he needed for that engagement. So yeah, that was not executed well. It's not that it wasn't like a good idea. The execution was just the law. You jumped into the monkey on accident. You like to take this fight without pushing the payload to keep that door open? Fair enough. Alright. Emerald goes up top. Phoenix and Nacho go over here. Okay. I'm liking the setup so far. I'll be honest, like if I were O Knockout right here, I would have been swapping off Orisa like way sooner. The thing is, like, just for this map in general, Orisa is not going to get any real good value. It's not that I mind Orisa as a pick, you know, as much in this meta as I used to. She's got a little bit more usability in some areas than she did. But frankly, like in this map, it's just not a good pick. Like Sigma is still pretty useful just because he's super strong like all the way around. But it would have been better to get a tank, honestly, on this map that had more ability to do high ground control, especially whenever these guys are starting to run double bubble. Alright, so red team's just kind of poking here, seeing what they can do. Dave goes in again. Again, like Dave's idea to go in here was not wrong, right? Okay, so his idea to go in, you know, on that high ground with all of his cooldowns, that's the proper way to go in. But he didn't have the protection he needed when he got through that door. So that's just something to be thinking about and looking at there. No. It's time for Blaine to get out or die. Okay. These guys are rotating high ground. Okay, so let's look at that for a second. This allows Chico to rotate around and start getting off angles. So red team is entirely utilizing high ground right here, while blue team is getting separated and mostly on the low ground. So let's see how this goes. Like I just want you guys to see what I'm observing right now, and see how it plays out. Dave, let's talk about it. What was your plan there, bud? You're just gonna beat Bob to death with Monkey? I got the perfect sound effect for that one.
Bruh.
Dave, I talked about you having big brain earlier, and that was the smoothest brain stuff I have seen in a while. Like, come on, man. Angry Monkey does not beat Bob.
Where is the bomb? Is he trying to push it into a corner or something?
He's trying to, but it's just not. Hang on, I'll let you go back and see it. Here it is. He's doing all this. Bob's down here, right? He goes angry monkey up here. And he comes down.
Okay.
And he's goes straight into Bob, and then gets picked off by O Knockout. Monkey not
bad,
understand robot.
Feels bad. Yeah.
I mean,
Monkey don't know what robot is. What is robot?
So I'm gonna be honest. Like, I feel like him going down there is what lost that fight because it eliminated a lot of like the really mobile pressure that that red team had here. And so what happens is he goes down, and the rest of the team, like, you know, then blue can collapse on that opportunity on the high ground and just kind of like rotate in and pick everybody else off. But here's the problem: like, it shouldn't have happened because red team had such a strong position starting this fight out, right? If there had been like a little bit more target focus, right? And I think what's happening here, and can somebody tell me if there was any target calling happening with red team here? Because I feel like there wasn't any focused target calling happening here. I mean, yes, I agree with his mindset because looking at his play, right? No, and that is correct. If he wasn't ready, if you weren't ready to bubble it, so that tells me there wasn't any coordination for Compton. That tells me that there wasn't any conversation happening there. There wasn't any calls happening. By you saying that, that tells me that. So here's what I feel like he was trying to do is he was trying to take control of that like uppermost high ground and boot these guys off of that high ground, right? Like just get them off there so he can mitigate some of that high ground advantage they have from having the highest ground in this area. So I understand his mindset, but yes, he should have coordinated that better with his team. He definitely went in a little too early. And he didn't get out fast enough. You know, he had to hit panic mode, even though he'd already hit his angry monkey. So I feel like that happened. And when he went down, it allowed blue team to capitalize. You know, push these guys that were up here, because you guys had people positioned like over here where everybody's at on this high ground, and I feel like that just made it available for everybody to scoop the rest of these high grounds off. Once that was done. So there was just a chain reaction at that point. But you guys, the red team had really good positioning, and then it just went to hell.
Dein Schutzengel ist da.
All right, Blank's trying to put in some work over here. I like what Blank's trying to do. He's got to be real careful, though, because Marsh is over there. Marsh is no slouch on the Hanzo. No. Okay. All right. That was good. Good counter. Okay. Now, one thing I'd like to point out here with what Jonesy just did is Jonesy was playing out of position way ahead of his tanks up here on the payload, and you know, I understand this is where he's trying to get ahead, right, and get where his tanks want to be, but his positioning was bad. But as soon as these guys came around this corner and he realized that he was in a really bad spot, he had his fade available to get back to his team, get behind Dave, and get back to safety. So that's a really, you know, it's a small thing, but when you're playing Moira, you got to make sure you try to have that fade ready to get out of dodge, man. Like, that's an important thing to remember when you're playing Moira. I'm still getting frame drops right now, and I don't understand why. It's happening again whenever I pause the stream for a second. Is like in chat, is it pretty bad or no? Frame drops? Okay. I have to next week. I have to take a few more measures here to make sure I'm prepared for this. Get some measurements in there. Okay. All right, now this is a small thing, but I kind of like what Compton did here going in. We knew we were going to use grab dragons, right? Um, coming out through the door, we knew this was the plan. And the other thing is, Compton is aware here, right? He understands the minute he comes through that door, he's going to be getting his butt spammed off because these guys are playing spam tanks. And he knows that. So, he knows he's got to worry about dynamite. He knows he's got to worry about spam damage coming in from the tanks. He knows that Mars Skip's got a storm arrow probably ready to go. Like, it's the first thing he does, right? When he comes to his doors, he hits his bubble, and he's committed to the plan. He's like, I'm doing this. I'm going in, and I'm going to hit this graph. So that was well executed, coming right out the door. And it paid off. They got a tank out of it. That was a layered ult from Blink. Blink saw that they didn't get as much out of the grab dragon as they wanted. And then he hits a visor and gets another pickup kill there. So that's really well done. Well executed by Red Team. Alright. Again, this is the same mistake we've been seeing Dave make on Monkey here. He just goes in way too early. He has no backup, right? You've got, Compton back here, coming out of spawn, right? So his off tank is not here. And he just dives straight into these spam tanks up here, and and all this team that are just going to eat his shield and eat him, and that's exactly what happened. You got Chico on the high position over here on the wing. Blink taking the off angle. Oh man! And now these guys are in between. Blue team's in between a DPS pinch here. Rambo does the right thing and commits to one side to get one of those DPS flankers off. And Chico needs to he needed to back out of that fight because he was in a bad position there at that point. All right.
Seconds remaining.
All right. Healers on red are putting in some work here, not gonna lie. Feel like it's just a stagger fest at this point. So I feel like Red Team kind of dropped the ball on this just because, honestly, Dave is going in way too early with his jumps. He's not coordinating with his team before he jumps. Looks like to me, just from viewing this. And it's making it really hard for his team to back him up. And it's really making his team get caught out on what's happening here. So I feel like there could have been a lot more coordination. And but I feel like the main thing is coming in from the initiations from the tank here, from the main tank. And what we got to remember when we're talking about playing Gibraltar is that this is Watch Point Gibraltar, not your local soup kitchen, so let's not feed so hard. All right, let's look at the next round here and see what we got going on.
Score 0-1. Switching sides. Initiating match.
All right, let's see what blue team's going to do here.
Ready for battle. Attackers incoming in 30
Alright, blue
seconds.
team is running some hard dive. I like that. Classic dive set up on the healer and, you know, on the Ana and the Widow. Ball monkey dive. I like it. We got a lot of mobility using Mercy back and forth between these characters.
5, 4, 3,
Okay.
2, 1. Attackers incoming.
I like to see defensively that we're at least running a ball over here.
Payload.
Ball Sigma, that's good. Alright, Rambo gets some poke in, but he doesn't get the result he wanted. Still a lot of contesting going on for that high ground on the bridge. Let's see what's going on down here. I want to see what this fight is. I'm gonna be honest, I don't think Dave's gonna win this fight. This 1v1. I feel like Monkey's got too much mobility to get in and out on him. Oh, Monkey gets himself cornered though. Not good. Oh no. And that's why teamwork matters. Somebody got called out of position and red team pounced on it. Alright, so now here's a problem too the blue team is doing here, right? Is they're allowing Blink, right, to go mostly uncontested up here. For the most part, Blink's not having to worry too much. He's able to rotate back and forth and get a lot of value. If you just kind of watch, let me back it up for 20 seconds here. And you just kind of watch what Blink is doing here. Like Blink's, he's taking a little damage, but he's not like too bad. Just watch what he's doing. Right, he's just rotating back. And now he's contested from the other high ground. And I know that seems like it's no big deal, but that's exactly how you should be playing Gibraltar as an entire map. What he's doing right there is what you should be doing, period, this whole map. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Must be talking about that monkey. They get called out. You hate to see it. Alright, I'm gonna be honest, like, I don't know that I would have committed mines to that because, like, I understand that Nacho is back here, but really there's not a lot of value out of that mine placement there. There's nobody there to really get caught in it. It's not really useful for a zoning ult right now. It's just kind of there. Now, honestly, like Rambo is just kind of overcommitting here in a lot of ways. Like Eric Ball is here. There's a lot of red team like just poking around here, and there's more coming in from the back. Like I feel like Rambo's like going in hard when he doesn't need to here. Yeah, so now red team's already back in. All right, that was a good engagement from Rambo there. I do like that he went after McCree when McCree was poking out without his tanks. Yeah, focusing on the purple target, good. Now, I'm going to be honest, with that visor, if I were Blink, I probably would have tried to pop a visor more like up here in between this doorway. Like, so that way he could have like hit some squishies coming in from here and had high ground, because Chico can't contest him really with that, other than just shooting at him. Like, it's not like Chico can use the stun, right? So I would have been trying to been up here and use that, The only thing that they could have done is Rambo could have came after him up there by himself on the top. But honestly, like Rambo's angry monkey right now, like it probably may not played out that way. But if Rambo had come up and tried to pop angry monkey on him, angry monkey doesn't do a lot of damage, so he could have dropped a health pack and probably melted Rambo. So dropped soldier's health pack and melted Rambo if he'd done that. And you can just get like a good view. Like you can run back and forth and use that visor a bit, like over here and a bit over there. And because you're at a split area here, you're kind of having to play both sides of this in a way as a DPS here. So that would have been like if it were me, I would have wanted to pop it up here and try to get like that multi-angle pressure off of that usage. Okay. I like that engagement with Rambo. Somebody's out of place. Rambo's just creating a snowball here. Like he's just picking people off before they have a chance to regroup. He's controlling high ground right now, or at least contesting high ground, not really controlling it. Alright, Blink's doing what Blink does. Let's play on those corners back here. I'm gonna be honest, like I think Blink's playing a little too forward there with Soldier. I mean, at least he's protecting Jonesy though. There's that. Ooh, Compton's in a tight spot right there. Okay. Now, I know this looks like an odd bubble placement from Rambo right here, but honestly, I feel like this bubble placement was actually really good because you got to think about like where people are positioned on this point, right? And even though this bubble is not protecting anyone, this bubble is zoning the point. So even for a few seconds, this is keeping damage from going across points. Like it's keeping people from firing across sectors. It's keeping healing from going across sectors in a lot of ways. Like honestly, people don't think about this, right? Like these shields are more than just for protection, right? You can use shields to zone things. Same reason why we always talk about how Sigma, one of his big things, he can throw a shield up and protect, away from Widowmakers and stuff like that, or even like Pharah. right? So that shield, in essence, is zoning off that DPS that's coming in from those areas. So that's exactly what Rambo just did with this bubble. And I know it's a small thing, you know, for me that like for most people will be like, why are you making a big deal about a bubble in the middle of nowhere? Like because this bubble in the middle of nowhere is doing a lot more work than you realize unless you know what to look for. See how it just like gave that bubble created all that space for these guys, even though nobody was in it. Yeah, there it is.
Victory.
Now, placing a bubble like that, if you know exactly why you're doing it, is actually really good. All right. So, okay, we're 2 hours in. We've gone through 2 maps. I feel like I got time for at least one more. Hopefully, my internet connection is not being too garbage here. I don't know why. I think that pause and yeah, you're creating a separation. Exactly. I feel like that when I pause the stream to talk about things, it's really messing with stuff. Anyway, let me look at the other maps here. I think I have one more picked out. I really wanted to look at. Let's get one out of match 3 here. All right, I'll give you guys a choice in chat here. We can either look at Oasis in match 3, or we'll jump up to match 4 and look at Volskaya. Volskaya for funsies. So we got one for Oasis, one for Volskaya. Anybody want to break that tie? Because otherwise, I'm gonna pick one. Looks like okay. McCann's saying okay. Let's do Oasis. Okay, let's look at Oasis. That looked like it was a close match. Let's take a peek at that.
Welcome to Oasis.
A lot of people don't like Oasis. No, I'm going to go through this whole thing here, the whole match. Oop, my DPI is down. There we go. All right. Well, let me check and make sure this is going to be the final pick for both teams here.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Round 1. Capture the objective.
All right. So Amity's already out ahead of the team on Doomfist, and used one of their cooldowns already. Which, yeah, I mean, there's no real harm in it at this point. Like everybody's both trying to get the point pretty fast. We both know that on both sides. There's no way somebody's gonna get picked off coming out of this point, particularly. I just think it's a good habit to try to like go out as a group. Let's see what they're doing over here on blue team. Also, it looks like Bastion was a popular pick on this first part of this map. For the last match every time. All right. So we're basically running a classic brawl setup here with a Bastion, pretty much. All right. Other teams kind of running a double bubble sort of setup, except with a ball instead of a Winston. So I guess it's more like a bubble shield. All right. Let's see how this goes. Let me get everybody to the point here. I always like this map because I like to talk about the initial setups. Or the initial, like, what they're trying to contest here. Okay. So blue team has already made a huge mistake going into this map, okay? So here's the deal. O Knockout came into this area, and you can tell O Knockout did not have a plan walking into this area. And the reason for that is, let's look at the pathing, right, that happened walking into here. Watch O Knockout when they come through this area. They're just kind of, honestly, what I call the herpaderping, right? So they get here, they turn around, look at the team, like, hey, come on, guys. And then they just go down mid, and they're just, like, waiting, right? There's no intention to this movement. They're just waiting. Marsh Kip is about to get screwed here. Okay. Manages to get out a little bit, but still not in a great position. Getting help from Zarya. But as you can see, if it wasn't for the Zarya and the immortality field, he would already be dead. So, let's talk about what could have happened better here. Alright. So, both teams should have probably been trying to go for this high ground first if they could get it. So, whoever could control it first. However, upon coming through main and realizing, oh crap, these guys are going for the high ground, like looking through this window and going, oh man, they're all there. They're all going for the high ground. Here's what should have happened. Blue team should have basically let red team go up there and set up on high ground. Just let them do it. And the reason I say that is because then blue team should just group up and play right here. Because high ground can't see you guys from here and you're on point, right? You're already here. You're where everybody's got to be to contest, right? So what does that force red team to do at that point? It forces red team to drop off high ground and come play you, which adds the added advantage of it makes them disoriented their setup that they're trying to do, right? Because they're the ones that are having to drop to come meet you. So that gives you the opportunity to meet them as they're coming down and maybe catch somebody out of position. True, it does make ball very useful to boot people in the sight lines. That's one of the big things ball is good at. So that is what should have happened with blue team right there. That was the better play. Looks like they still managed to win it, though. At least for now. Yep. Yeah, looks like they still managed to win it. I feel like the good thing that they had, one of the reasons they did win that fight, though, is I feel like Marsh kept their head quite a bit there and honestly let their team do their job. Like, they just set up and started laying out damage and getting the other team, getting in their heads. Oh, crap, it's a Bastion. And let them set up. Or not letting them set up. Sorry. All right, Marsh is coming up and setting up solo. All right, Nacho comes up to meet him. I like that. All right, Compton's doing Compton things with the ball. Kind of coming to the back line, cause some chaos. Get slept and melted. Oof. But Bastion gets melted as well by the Hanzo. I'm gonna be honest. Got some value out of it. All right, that's fine. I feel like you didn't really need it. I feel like that tank ult may have been a little on the BM side. Going to sit back up on high ground. All right. I like it. I like what Flute is doing over here with Amity. They're just getting some zoning in, which I'm a big fan of zoning. All right. Now, did you guys see what blue team just did? That's exactly what I was talking about on that initial setup. They went over here. Their red team did not come down to meet them, and just boom, the point gets turned right back around because red team did not drop to contest. All right.
Helden sterben nicht.
All right, now what red team is doing right here is they're doing like an area control. All right, so what you'll see, right, is that basically from this point to this point, red has a zone on this point right now because of the positioning of all their characters, right? And the only space that blue controls right now is here. So that's what I mean when you talk about zoning. You have to like look at all the angles that you can cover. Now, on top of that, right, we talk about looking at the map three-dimensionally, okay? And because, you know, here you've got Flute and you've got Korean, right, up here with this. So you got to think about the fact that they're controlling this whole space three-dimensionally here, too, from high ground. Oops, sorry about that. Everything coming okay on the stream here? I'm looking like I'm getting some weirdness on my end, so I'm checking. Okay, yeah. My mobile was being weird for a second, so I was just making sure that the stream wasn't doing something weird. Okay. You see how Flute and Korean are controlling the zones on the top there? And see how, like, because the angle was covered, like, red was just able to come in and scoop onto blue team? Not to mention it was just a big numbers advantage, too. Now, blue should be able to do something with this because they got a lot more ult right now than red. So they should be able to turn this fight around with what they have. Of course, red's coming up on their ults too, so if they wait too long to engage, it's going to be too late. Now that was a pretty good ult. It zoned them out, and at the very least, it's just going to buy time and/or force them to rotate. That was not a good position for Marsh to jump out on his own. All right. What happened right there, Marsh? That is the definition of feeding. Because you jumped out and put yourself into a stationary position, wide in the open, where all of their entire team could point at you and shoot. Like, that right there, you may as well have opened a Taco Bell on that corner because you just fed everybody. Alright.
Pass into the iris.
That was coordinated between Korean and Flute there. You're still kind of in the middle of a bunch of reds by yourself, you know, nano tank form or not. I know, that's a hard res to go for. Alright, Compton's waiting until he's needed back here. He's trying to let his team get back. And or scout for an opportunity. So I like that. That's the proper way to play ball. Wait for the right opportunity. You get your health back. Get that last little bit of health in. I like that. Alright, now you know you're in trouble because Marsh just saw you. Yeah. That's how I saw that ended. Alright, Koreans, yeah. Korean just did the same thing with the Bastion play. Okay, here's the thing. Like, I don't hate Bastion as a pick completely. Okay, I feel like he's pretty useless, like overall. But there's one thing that Bastion can do that people don't utilize enough, and that's Recon Bastion. Okay, Recon Bastion has a whole lot of bullets. He has self-healing, mobility, and no recoil at all. Like, he's like Soldier with more healing in a way. And then he could just like get in turret form and super burst people, you know, whenever it's safe to do so. But here's the deal. It is not safe to go turret form Bastion while facing down 6 people in the enemy team. That is feeding. Don't do that. Alright, it's Compton versus the world. And Blink, who just got back. Ooh, the stall was real, though. Hey, you were trying, dude. I respect it. Now Blink's trying. Any more rotations? No rotations? Alright, that point's done.
Score.
Almost laser beam spread to it, Recon? Oh, yeah.
0.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I feel you, bud.
Ready for battle.
Honestly, alright, this is one of my favorite maps in the entirety of Overwatch. I love this map. And the reason I love this map is this place right here, okay? I call this my basketball hoop. And usually if I play this map, I'm going to play tank, and I'm either going to play like Orisa or Roadhog. Maybe Ball. But mostly Roadhog. And the reason I love to play Roadhog is because this is my BM map, right? I love to hook people into this hole, right? I know there's a mega pack down there, but here's the thing. You get to hook them into this hole and then make them walk up the stairs all the way up these stairs. You don't even give them the dignity of killing them by dropping them off an environmental. You make them take the stairs and think about what they've done. That's why I love this map. All right, so we're still on the Bastion kicks, it looks like. Let's see what happens. I've done that more than one time too, Marsh. Hook, straight do the meme. I'll do it again.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Round 2. Capture the objective.
All right, so we got the Sig Diva combo over here. We got the Ryan Zari over here. Amity's waiting for the high ground. All right. I'll be honest. I feel like Amity waited way too long to hit that Wraith and get out of there. Reason being, right, you saw, right, that all of their team was up there. They were all coming there. You knew you were there by yourself. It's already time to hit the note button. It's time to go. Yeah, I see Korean took it off Bastion. That was the play, too, to get off Bastion, to be honest with you. Like, when there's 3 or 4 people coming up them stairs and you're all here by yourself, like, it's time to just, you know, time to go. I'll be honest, like, I kind of like how Red was playing here because Red saw the Bastion here, and you guys just came up and started playing on the wall, kind of playing underneath them, right? Where the Bastion couldn't do any real damage to you. And honestly, like, with these guys, like, you've already pushed these guys off here. So now it's time to turn around and focus on O Knockout. And I would love to see O Knockout go the hell down as well. Oof. Tough break on Compton there. That's alright. Red holds it as they should because they played correctly on the beginning of that point. Yep, Baby Diva coming out. And does the correct thing and dives. Okay, so there needs to be a regroup here and a choice on which area to hold. Knockout's already way ahead of their team. That could have been punished a little bit more. I feel like Hanzo kind of saved their bacon a little bit there. Alright. Now, to be honest, like I feel like Compton's playing a little too far out in the open here. There's too much pressure that he can receive to the team, even though Knockout's about to go down and he's getting some healing. That's good. But I feel like it's risky. It looks like it's going to pay off for him. But honestly, if I were him, I would have been trying to play like a little bit more in between here, where I had a little more natural cover, and I wasn't facing down the Hanzo, the Diva, the Ryan, you know, and everything else that's happening here. Good hammer. Well played. Just got rid of the Reinhardt and then hit the hammer. Good pin out to get the Diva out, so there's no defense matrix. I like it. I feel like I know Reaper's about to have their ult, right? But the other team's playing a Diva and an Ana. Okay? So you gotta think about that kind of stuff. Gotta think about it. Let's see how it plays out. Alright, you're Reaper. You're already sneaky. Alright. Now, here's the deal. Let's talk about this mindset, right? Amne's like, man, I'm going to be the hero. I'm going to play of the game right here. Okay? Watch the kill feed while Amity is busy doing this. Boom. You guys see that? 2 of the red team went down while we're busy trying to be the playmaker back here. And it's not enough. Now Blue's got all the pressure on the point. That's a really good Mei wall. Really good Mei wall. Okay. I feel like that Mei wall might have been at least 50% of what held that point right there. No, you guys did not win that. But I understand wanting to make plays, like to make us hero plays, but at this point I feel like it cost you guys the fight. There was just too much setup time waiting to make that play. So I feel like that was a big contributor to losing that fight. It'd have been a lot better to kind of work with the team and get a good blossom while red team was while blue team, excuse me, was disoriented. They're trying to force it like that. Oh, really big shatter coming in from Compton. Oh yeah. Honestly, that was just really well played. I feel like Compton and and Jonesy right there just kind of like scooped that point. They came in from both sides, and what they did there was, honestly, I feel like they came in, they just put pressure off from both sides. They just kind of came in with their team, hit both zones, and just scooped it out. Did not let blue team set up anywhere for any good defense when they came on point. Perfectly played. I understand. And don't take it personal, bud. Like when I do these reviews, I'm doing them for more than just one person. I'm trying to make sure that I do them so everybody sees the good and the bad into what went on.
Score 1-1.
It was. It's too long on flanks, too far away from the team. No way to get in and out well. Torbjörn.
5,
Love it.
4, 3, 2, 1. Round 3. Capture the objective.
All right, let's look at some compositions here. We've got the Echo in here on both teams. Not a bad swap in for this map, to be honest. Tracer can work well here. It's a little, honestly, I feel like it's a little tight quarters, but Tracer works well in tight quarters. And if you are familiar with this map, there's enough ins and outs for Tracer to get in and out of fast enough that it can be a good pick. We got, Ryan's Aria always works well. We're running a point control healer for Moira. I can get behind that along with the Mercy. Mercy's going to work well because you're running an Echo. I can get behind that. Honor Ryan's Aria, always good synergy between those three. I'm a little iffy on the Doomfist pick, but we do have an Echo. Of course, Doomfist can be pretty effective against the Tracers, so it could work out in blue team's favor. Let's see what happens. Okay, blue's taking the point, fight the point first, which I typically like. They're getting some kills. Yep, okay. Yeah, it was a good fast rotation from blue team there.
The objective is now.
Okay, we got a contest. Okay. So let me get a better angle here. Alright, looks like red team is doing a lot of poking. They're trying to commit to go to the far side. Compton unfortunately gets slapped right there and loses the second. Alright. Okay, so Amity swapping over to Doomfist here to match, like kind of mirror what these guys are doing. Works out well. I feel like he saw that these guys are running that Zenyatta, and he just goes, okay, like I can punch that Zenyatta to smithereens, and he does, and it works. So that was good paying attention to the composition of the other team and making a swap. Because now you know you can capitalize on these guys and take them down a healer, and that's going to turn the tide of the fight usually. Okay. Jonesy's really focusing on Marsh on the Echo. It's a good choice. Good. Okay, so I feel like what happened here is the first fight, like, blue team got in and they were able to rotate to the point first. They got their point presence first. They played faster than red team, so they got that first point control. But red team kind of paid attention to what these guys were playing, like their composition. They made a swap, and they went, okay, if I make this swap, I can take out the healer and it's going to turn the tide of the fight, and it worked. So that is definitely a good play by Red. Good play by Dark Ember here in chat. I feel like you did a good job picking a better DPS based on what these guys are running.
This will heal her.
All right, you did go in a little deep there and paid for it. A little too far, a little too deep. Okay, so that means red team's having to play a little passive. Dolphins just sit here kind of waiting, I feel like, for a shatter. Misses it entirely, like a pro. And oh, knockout. Lights a BM. All right. Looks like blue turned it around. Okay. Compton, what happened on that shatter, bud? Like, I know what you were trying to do, and like, I like the thought behind it, but what happened? Was it like, I figured maybe like just something hung up on your mouse or something like that. I didn't know. And that's why I made the joke too about me, misses it like a pro, because yeah, everyone misses shatters. It happened. And I don't know about you, but that's my feeling. If I miss a shatter, I'm just like, I missed it like a pro. Definitely. All right. But anyway, yeah, unfortunately, blue got more value out of their ults there than red did, and that's kind of what turned it around. Unfortunate. Like Compton saying in the chat, it's just one of those things that kind of happens. There's not a lot I can really throw at you on analysis there. It was just a whoopsie situation, missing the shatter, and the other team like getting their shatter and getting the value out of it. So that's really where this fight turned around. All right, red team's going to try to push the right room again. Blue team already knows they're after, it looks like, a little bit. All right, red team is putting their attention with the echo, which is good. Okay, huge trance coming in to equalize the pressure for the blue team. Okay, Lionel is just going back and forth here. I like that Marsh kept decided to get the Reinhardt out. And I feel like the healers are putting in some work here on red team for sure. Really good hold for red team. I feel like they layered their ults out just a little bit better than blue team did. And just got more value out of it because of it there. Okay. I feel like red is pushing a little too far forward here. Yep, Korea's going to pay for that. And, ooh, we didn't block the shatter. That's okay. Yeah, that's just going to turn it around there.
This is my will.
All right, so I feel like that fight got won kind of by Jonesy's bubble usage. Jonesy rotated their bubbles really well there and really was able to help Compton out of a pinch. Because when Compton didn't block the shatter, it put him in a really bad position for a couple of seconds. But I feel like, Jonesy was able to rotate in and out and protect Compton enough, along with the healers backing him up, that it really saved that play. So good job on Jonesy there for really, really rotating in and out and saving that play for him. All right, so we got to swap up to the monkey. Good shatter grab combo. Also, big purple coming in from the blue team there, but I don't feel like it's enough to really turn this around. Yeah, not with the res on cooldown, ready to go. I still feel like our Doomfist and Echo, like our DPS and red team's going in a little too hard. They could have turned out badly. All right, and that is it for Oasis. All right, we're getting into 11 o'clock at this point. And yeah, I was saying I would do one full map set for each match tonight, and get some really in-depth analysis. I hope you guys enjoyed what I've talked about tonight and got some value out of it. But you know, definitely make sure to give the B2P crew some feedback if you like this format better than what's been going on before. I really feel like it's you guys were enjoying it better because I feel like our viewership was up tonight. So I want to thank you guys for joining me, and I'm about to start winding this stuff down.
Yeah, great job today, Diesel.